Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. What if I told you there's a scientifically proven way not only to guarantee your deepest desires, but also to predict them with mathematical precision? Just imagine unlocking the code to reality itself, and where every event around you signals the imminent event to come. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a revolutionary method which essentially comes from over a decade of systematic experimentation, obsession, that bridges quantum physics, neuroscience, and deterministic philosophy to transform your life forever. And if you follow along, by the end of this video, I will prove to you that your manifestation is not only destined to come, but if you pay close attention, you will master the ability to read your real reality, to be able to predict that it is coming for sure. I'm going to cover the simplest way to explain how to implement the most advanced discoveries, and that by using them, you can manifest anything. There is a scientifically proven method to not only guarantee the fulfillment of your desires, but it's also to read reality. Reading reality effectively to the degree to which you can look at any situation at any time, any thought, and to know absolutely whether or not your manifestation is going to come. And I am not making this. This has all been based upon philosophies and math and physics. This is not something I've made up. This is something that has been around for a very long time, but it is only until now that it has been implemented or broken down in a way that you can utilize it in manifesting. So here's the thing. We are going on a journey, right? This is essentially one that transcends standard manifestation ventures, but really it goes into the fabric of existence itself. This is not something you're going to hear really anywhere else. I'm effectively unraveling a groundbreaking, scientifically backed method that it doesn't only guarantee the fulfillment of your manifestations, but it also empowers you to decode reality with precision. That's what I'm talking about here. This isn't mere speculation. It's literally systematically proven approach, and it's born by over a decade of obsessive experimentation, tens of thousands of trial and error, experimentation, step-by-step test, not only from myself, tens of thousands of manifestations, but also from my clients, my subscribers, my friends, you guys. So our universe operates on principles deeply rooted in quantum physics and deterministic philosophy. Like Albert Einstein, who questioned the nature of reality, we delve into the mechanics of how thoughts become things. At the quantum level, particles exist in state of superposition, which effectively is the multiple possibilities coexisting until observed. Similarly, our thoughts are quantum seeds planted in the field of infinite potential. When we engage in an imaginal act, we collapse these possibilities into a singular reality, and through a bridge of incidence, we will experience that planted reality. So let's talk about planting the quantum seed, which is the first step in this process. So we begin by meticulously crafting our desired reality. This isn't daydreaming, it's a calculated design of the future, your future, which is much like how a mathematician formulates an equation to solve a complex problem. Write down every single detail, dimensions, variables, outcomes. This written blueprint will serve as the quantum seed you will plant into the subconscious realm. Literally and metaphorically speaking, the closest thing you can compare this process to is designing your own species of plant or species of being. And what happens is you construct a seed through the imaginal act. That seed itself is containing the DNA, and that DNA is the bridge of incidence, which will grow into that desired outcome, that imaginal act. I recently conducted a survey to my email list. 100 people participated. 94% of those who documented their desires in the way that I just outlined notice a significant shift in their reality within just a few days, especially given the information I'm going to provide to you here. In another survey, 88% of implemented techniques used to manifest with imagining had received their complete or partial core desires. It's effectively using the techniques that we talk about in this channel. 88% is a high number. 88% of people who utilize these techniques and aspects of what I teach are witnessing partial, at least, or complete aspects of their reality. And with utilizing these principles that I talk about here, those actually go up because of the mindset shift that occurs when you understand the fabric of reality. This is not speculation. This is absolutely true. So the step number 2 is impressing the subconscious mind with that quantum seed. So the subconscious mind is a powerful processor. It handles billions of bits of information per second. There's not even a computer who can do that. To impress your quantum seed into this vast processor, we have to engage in some technique or method which allows us to do that. Now, in my previous videos, I talked about bullet lists or listing methods which impress the subconscious mind with various specific quantum lists or statements which will apparently impress the subconscious mind. The subconscious has the ability to take what we imagine or feed it and convert it into that seed. But in this case, we're going to talk about, we'll take the list again as a method which we can use in order to craft your reality. So in this case, we're going to talk about the bullet list, which again is highly effective. It was a very popular video. Many people have already manifested their core desires using that technique. The video, you've probably already seen it. If not, it's easy to find. But point being is, what you do is you list the generalized topic that you wish to experience, such as you list down my perfect relationship, and underneath you list down all the criteria of that relationship as if it's already true. This is the way that I manifested my current partner, and it was to a T that it manifested. So if you wanted to manifest a specific person, you can list their name and list down all the criteria of the desire, such as, she and I have perfect compatibility, she and I do this, she and I do that, and list the name on the top. You can do as many criteria as you possibly want. Or if that is, if you don't have a pen and paper at hand, the simplest way to do this is simply to close your eyes and immerse yourself into the scenario that you've crafted. Essentially using all your senses, feeling textures, hearing sounds, smelling aromas, this multi-sensory visualization will embed the seed deeply into the subconscious, which sets the wheels of manifestation into motion. Also completing a list, the list that we talked about, the act in and of itself of focusing on the list, doing it in the stream of consciousness, will equally impress your subconscious mind with the criteria of that list. And again, the wheels of manifestation are set into motion. Neuroscience supports this. Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is a famous or popular manifestation teacher, says that by mentally rehearsing an experience, we begin to install the neurological hardware to look like the experience already happens. This is amazing, end quote. This is amazing because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and perceived. And that's extremely effective and powerful because whatever we imagine, we create. The subconscious, not knowing the difference between what we've imagined and what we've experienced, replicates the contents of the imagination and pushes it out on the screen of space. Step 3 is the mechanics of the bridge of incident. So here's where my extensive background in physics comes into play. In deterministic systems, every action has a predictable reaction. That's just how it is. You can look at anything, do something, there's going to be an effect. This is really, really powerful when you take this into consideration of how the mind works or how behaviors work. Or by an initial condition, a chain of events is set off. And once your subconscious mind is impressed with the quantum seed, it communicates with the collective consciousness, right? You are consciousness. That's your true self. You are God. You are the God of Scripture. As that God of Scripture, your name is Elohim, which essentially means a God made up of many gods. You are one of those gods. As one of those many gods, but not smaller than, not less powerful than, you just are God. In that, being that, you communicate with the collective consciousness, the rest of the gods, which is akin also to the unified field theory proposed by Einstein and expanded by physicists like David Bohm. This collective consciousness disseminates thought impulses, and this is extremely critical. This is how manifestation works. You can test it, you can prove it anytime, reflecting back upon how your manifestations have transpired. Ask people, question people, observe it yourself. The collective conscious disseminates thought impulses, which is the fundamental unit of creation, into the minds of those who play a role in your manifestation. Much like neurons firing across synapses to create a thought, these impulses trigger actions in others, other people, other things, other conscious beings, aligning circumstances and events in a complex yet predictable web of causality. Predictable. What that means is you can observe this reality right now and observe the thoughts and experiences that are happening through any given period of time, such as studying what people are saying, what you are saying, what you're thinking, the things that are happening, circumstances through any given period of time. And doing that, you can determine what is going to happen next. But more amazingly, you can determine whether or not your manifestation is coming. That is why this is absolutely critical to the mastery of manifestation. That understanding of how the bridge of incidence works, that understanding of how thought impulses are disseminated from consciousness to the minds of the individual people in the world. Anyone in this universe can be influenced by your imaginal act. And the actions taken are essentially, or the impulses that are pushed out convert to thoughts and feelings and then actions. And these are in a complex yet predictable web of causality. So step 4 is observing reality through the lens of determinism. Now, here's the crux of this groundbreaking method. By applying deterministic principles, you can read the signs in your current reality that indicate your manifestation is unfolding. If you're wondering if you're going to get your manifestation, this is the key. You do not have to wait for some amazing groundbreaking thing to happen. You can study intricate, minute, discrete thoughts or feelings and realize that this is pushing you towards that end. This is determinism. This is causality. This is how the universe works. Every event, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a link in the chain of causality leading to your desired outcome. This is absolutely groundbreaking. This effectively means at any given time you can determine whether your manifestation is coming, or you can look at other people's realities and let them know what manifestations are likely coming in their reality as well. And the better you get at this, the better you get at predicting what they need to do to get their manifestation or if it is coming. Likewise, yourself. For example, if you've planted the seed to start a successful business and suddenly you meet someone with expertise in that field, that's not a coincidence. It's a direct result of the thought impulses set into motion by your subconscious seed, by your quantum seed. Step 5, systematic analysis of thoughts and events. Equip yourself with a journal, a ledger to record daily events and thoughts. This isn't a mundane diary, it's a scientific logbook. Note patterns, synchronicities, and anomalies, and analyze them as a physicist would analyze data from an experiment. This isn't hard to be able to detect when something is shifting in the direction of your manifestation unfolding. So you look for correlations between your imaginal acts and the events unfolding in your reality. There doesn't have to just be one manifestation unfolding at once. There could be many. There are many, in fact. You have so many seeds in the quantum field pushing forth manifestations in this reality, controlling and maneuvering not only other people's actions, but yours as well. And with that said, simply by observing, you can surmise or ascertain where your reality is heading. That's just how this works. Step 6 is the mathematical modeling of manifestation progress. Listen, I can go into how to use principles of statistical analysis to model probability of your manifestation's arrival, assigning values to the frequency of significance of observed events. But here's the thing. You can simply look at what's happening, take a look at the list of items that you're logging down that have been unfolding. Take any given period of time, take 10 minutes a day or 10 minutes 3 times a day randomly. When you're doing that, during that 10-minute process, observe all the experiences and events around you. Log down the different thoughts, ideas, feelings, moods, actions, circumstances around you. If you have things that are happening that are out of the ordinary, those are especially critical, because those things are actively proving that things are shifting in a way that they never were before. And if you're manifesting something that's out of the ordinary, that is one thing you could look for. So, like I said, you could assign numbers of importance to each of these things and create some quantitative measurement of how close you are to realizing your desire, but they should pick up in intensity or size, so frequency or intensity. So in other words, these types of thoughts or events that would otherwise have some impact on your actions or other people's actions to give you your manifestation, you have to eventually become the person you want to manifest. God's word cannot come back void, which means every imaginal act that you engage in must manifest. There's no doubt to that. So to get from where you are right now to that time and space where you want to go, certain things have to happen. So in other words, look at your life right now. How far are you away from getting that manifestation? Think of the things that you've been imagining or listing down. How many different facets of your reality are changed or modified for that complete manifestation to unfold? How different? What are the discrepancies between now and then? Then analyze, through the lens of determinism, analyze different thoughts, ideas, actions, and circumstances that could be leading you there. Now, here's the thing. You have to consider this. Reality is less like direct. It's less like checkers. It's way more like chess. Consider the actions by any given person. They're taking their actions based upon a complex organization of experiences, thoughts, feelings, memories, assumptions, self-concepts, all the contents of their life from the very beginning until this point. That is what dictates a person's actions. It isn't as much as a person shifting their mind one single way to make a decision to get your manifestation. Like, for an example, do you really want your specific person out of nowhere to just switch their mind and say, I want to be with you? I'm sure most of you would say yes, and at first glance you would, but just as easy as they can switch their mind to say yes, they can switch their mind back to say no. You don't want that, right? There is a complex web of causation that is, you are able to determine what comes next. So in other words, this is how the bridge of incidence works. It's not just random. There aren't just random things happening to get a manifestation to happen, right? If I wanted $1 million, a suitcase could just fall out of the sky. But realistically, that's not going to be in a way that's going to present it to me in a way that I've desired, or it's not going to be permanent, or there are reasons why that manifestation is not just appearing randomly, that I haven't just won some contest or some ancestor that's 37 family members removed has wrote me into their will and they have no other living person to claim their billions of dollars, right? So every single action, thought, idea are a manifestation of God. That perfect in consciousness is all knowledge, all wisdom, all power, omnipresent, omnipotent, controls everything. All things exist within that God and through that God and because of that God. Knowing everything in the contents of every person's mind that ever had existed, every thought that existed therein, every action that was taken, and every thought that exists in every mind now, right? Because God is everyone, knows every thought. The content of your mind is consciousness, and consciousness is God. And given that, God knows exactly what is going to happen because he can predict that with exact degree of accuracy because he knows everything. And given that, he knows the exact thoughts that have to be had in that person to get them to take the actions that need to be taken to give you your manifestation. It's not as complex as it sounds. It's actually quite simple. And you can, like I said, by analyzing, the whole point is analyzing the contents of reality right now, you can literally determine how close you are to realizing your desire. This is really powerful because after you imagine, the slightest changes in reality prove that your manifestation is coming. And the thing that you should be taking away with this that is absolutely critical is once a manifestation is in action, it cannot be taken back. It must be manifested. It cannot be reversed. It cannot be brought back. This is all throughout scripture. And the thing about our power is it must be dependable, right? The same consciousness that we are, the same consciousness that has power is the same consciousness that holds the universe in place. And if you cannot depend upon it, if it's wishy-washy and changing, none of us would be alive right now. The world would be in chaos. But that's not how it is it? Everything is stable, continuous, constant. You can depend upon it. Extremely dependable, utilizable. That is how this works. So with that said, knowing any indication that your manifestation is underway is the proof, the absolute proof that your manifestation is coming and you cannot stop it. You cannot retract it. So let's talk about step 7, which is trusting the immutable laws of the universe. So just as gravity is a constant, so too are the laws governing manifestation, right? As I said, God is consistent. Consciousness is consistent. Your power is consistent. It's dependable. I have performed countless tests. I have never had a situation where manifestation has not worked. Never. It has worked 100% of the time, 100% of dependability. That is a law of consciousness, the law of God, the law of the universe. And once the subconscious mind is impressed, the universe must rearrange itself to accommodate the reality of that seed. That's physics. That's the universe. This aligns with the laws of the conservation of energy, and it cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. It must happen once you impress that subconscious. So you might be wondering how I arrived at this method, and if you wouldn't mind to allow me to share a personal story with you. So at 10 years old, I began coding, which is really where my systematic brain kind of started. I was diving into technology with extreme curiosity. By 16, I created an online game called Urban Riot. There were over 10,000 active users to it. I've shared some of this with you guys before, but behind this success, I battled an extreme addiction to heroin that nearly took my life, and I've shared about this in the previous video. Assuming I would die young, which yes, I assumed I would be dead young, I essentially embarked on a quest to cure my addiction. That's how I got to where I am today. It was a cure that mainstream medicine said doesn't exist. Again, I shared this in a previous video, but not in this depth. I studied and read hundreds of books, from the Bible to Napoleon Hill to Joseph Murphy to Neville Goddard, so many things in between, psychology, mathematics, all these philosophy, all these things to try to find a source of truth to be able to fix my insanity, because let's be honest, that is what it is. It's a disorder and a disease that makes a person temporarily insane to do things that might kill them, literally. So what I did was I had to conduct experiments because what I was reading was not getting me to where I wanted to go. I conducted tens of thousands of experiments on manifestation. That's why I take the approach I do today, and everything that I teach is based upon statistics and experiments, right? Scientific experiments, physics. I meticulously recorded tens of thousands of experiments. One night after a profound mystical experience, I realized the power to change the reality was literally within me. Despite relapses and being shunned by those I trusted, I persisted. I overcame addiction. I built successful businesses. And now I'm here to share the secrets of what I've uncovered. That's why I do this, to share this with the masses so that you too can overcome what the masses say, what main society says, and implement the power that's within you and that's been hidden by society. So here's the thing. I know what it's like to feel hopeless, to battle inner demons while chasing dreams, right? We all have dreams. I've been there and I've emerged stronger. My mission is to help others overcome their obstacles and manifest their deepest desires. What I'm doing again for you guys is not really something that I've ever seen before, and it's literally only so that you can get the personalized answers that you need. I think too much or too often, they're not available, right? They're not available. What I'm telling you again is I'm offering free coaching. I'm offering free coaching. I didn't cite it at the very beginning because I wanted you to get further in. I didn't want that to be the only reason you're watching my video. But nevertheless, if you've watched this video and you found it helpful to you, if you have questions about it, if you want to engage in free one-on-one coaching on email, there's a link in the description and in the comments that you can fill out and apply for that free coaching. It's completely free and it's 100% approval of the application. So I suppose it's not really an application, but whether or not you want to talk about bridges, you want to talk about science, you want to ask questions about that, you want affirmations made, you want an imaginal scene made, one of the ones that I've given to these people who have manifested their money, their specific person. I do this stuff with mathematical certainty because that's the type of mindset I have. You can have the same level of confidence if you engage in experimentation, and not only that, but the deterministic thinking, as I talked about in this video, which, by the way, you're not going to find anywhere else. These are all my philosophies that I've derived through systematic experimentation and observation, broken down simply so that anyone can manifest anything, right? If you found this helpful, share this video with other people, right? Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with other people. Hey, maybe they're going to want a free session too. Give this away to other people. Teach them and give them the power that you have. And comment in the comments below and share with other people how this works for you. Anyway, listen, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to manifest. Share this video and I'll see you next time. Our universe, here's the thing, right? Our universe operates on principles that are deeply rooted in quantum physics and deterministic philosophy. As Albert Einstein questioned the nature of reality,